Was it a bad day? Or was it a bad 5 minutes that you milked all day? Every time someone mentions to me that their day was bad, I can't help but wonder if the whole 1,440 minutes of their day was bad, or rather the few minutes that ruined it for them. And why is it that a few bad minutes of our day stick with us, but a few good minutes disappear into thin air? Why do our failures stick with us longer than our successes? Soon enough, you come to the realization that most high schoolers, teenagers, students, or in fact, people in general, tend to have more bad days than good days. Now, why is this, you may ask? It's all because of the mindset that people have. There is a voice inside my head right now telling me that I'm not good enough to speak at TEDx, that my words won't have any meaning to my audience, that I'm going to embarrass myself. Yet I stand amongst you today to tell you to shut that voice down, that same voice that stands in the way of people's success. To believe that you are worthy, that you are deserving of everything you desire, to believe in yourself. A couple days ago, I received my grade on my AP psychology test. Let's just say it wasn't a grade I was too proud of. So the entire day I was mad, I was disappointed, I was upset. So on the ride home, I thought about ways to tell this grade to my parents. And as I arrived home, I finally sat down and I told them, I failed my AP psychology test. To which they responded, okay. So confused that maybe they didn't hear me correctly, I repeated myself and I said, no, I failed this test. I'm going to have to retake it. To which once again they responded, okay. So I carried on to justify my actions, to say that it was a hard test, that I would work harder, that I would study harder. And then they replied once again, okay. So I asked them, why aren't you guys worried about this grade, which I personally had been so devastated by? And they told me, did you work your hardest? I said yes. And they told me that I had taken hundreds of tests in my life, and I had done good on them. So this one grade did not define anything. How many of you ever look at a bad grade and are far more disappointed than if you look at 100 good grades? I am one of those people. If I see an F, it will make me mad, it will make me disappointed. But if I see the hundreds of A's I've gotten in my life, I will forget about that in an instant. And this is not the way it should be. Your failures do not define who you are, and your failures do not outweigh your successes. So how many of you have ever thought, school makes me want to die? Now these 6 words at some point would have had such a huge, impactful meaning. Yet now the scary part is that this is a phrase said so commonly by so many. If I sit down at lunch, I put my head down and I say, school makes me want to die, the response expected, or rather should I say wanted, would be, how can I help you? Is everything okay? But instead, I noticed that the immediate response to this is mood, relatable, same. And the worst part is I noticed myself chime into this trend of depression and sadness by replying with similar phrases. Now these small phrases we say in the moment may not mean a lot, and they could just be a way for us to lighten up the mood. But now those same 6 words have lost all of their meaning. Now it's something you say when you get a bad grade, when you get 5 hours of sleep instead of 8, when you get too much homework. But do we ever stop to think about the people that don't have an education in the first place, that don't have a home to go to in the first place, that don't have a bed to sleep on? We think about our tiny problems, which seem like the world to us, and we complain about them, rather than taking any physical action. So now, you may look at me and think, what does this girl know about being happy? I know what it's like to be happy, because I felt what it's like to be upset or sad. And personally, it's not a feeling I enjoy. When someone asks me what my ultimate goal in life is, my ultimate goal in life is to live each and every day happy to its fullest. The only way I can see myself doing that, or I can see anyone doing that, is changing the way your mindset works. So, It's easier said than done to have a positive mindset. Nowadays, there's almost this trend of depression and sadness that for some reason we all want to hop onto. We diagnose ourselves with these serious problems just to be relatable to our acquaintances. But rather I say that trend be positivity, happiness, joy. Perhaps people would want to feel these strong emotions. Your smile in the hallway or your compliment to a stranger can mean so much more than you can anticipate. But that also goes for a snicker or a rumor you may spread. So the next time you think you're having a bad day, think about whether it really is a bad day or not, because it's up to you to choose happiness. Thank you.